Yeah, of course, people can see that prices have gone up, price of energy, price of fuel, price of electricity, price of household gas, price of food. Food is become very expensive. A lot of farmers are not able to harvest their fields. So the common people can see inflation going up. But also common people are shocked by what Russia is doing in Ukraine. They are completely, utterly shocked. And so they need to realize but something has to be done. And I think, the price of this is to apply sanctions against Russia, sanctions against who commits these human crimes, war crimes. And this is a price we have to pay, the sanctions against Russia, because, of course, we want to solidarize with the Ukrainian people which are fighting for peace and prosperity in their country. So I think, and one example of this is that Italy also voted to give weapons to the Ukrainian people to defend themselves and to defend their democracy and to defend their freedom against the Russian invasion. So it tells you that there is a strong response by European countries, and the European people are afraid by what Russia is doing. They are shocked by these war crimes, and they're also very preoccupied because this inflation is risking to jeopardize our economic recovery. America, the United States is Europe's biggest partner. We are both in defense of liberal democracies, and we want to have a free countries and democratic. Of course, the US has done some terrible mistakes, and also some tragedies. I'm thinking about the Iraq war, which we were absolutely against. We didn't want to participate. So, US foreign policy is something we agree with many times, but not all the time. Now, about the two instances you talked about the redefinition of the relationship with Venezuela and Iran, it's something which is still early to comment, but of course, you cannot always fight all the enemies at once. And of course, if we want to apply pressure on Russia, we have to stop buying Russian gas and Russian oil, and this means finding oil and gas elsewhere. So I suppose that's also part of the equation why I suppose there is a rewarming of the relationship with some of these countries as well. I also think, with Iran, remember there was a deal which has been done in the past. So I hope that a new deal can be reached in order to find peace and to have a peace between Iran and the West. Venezuela, I'm very worried about that country. I think the regime is terrible what it's doing to its own population. It's the country with the biggest amount of oil reserves in the world, and yet its population is dying in poverty and cannot even find toilet paper in the supermarkets. So now on these specific issues, it's difficult to comment. It's too early to comment. But for sure, U.S. foreign policy, European foreign policy and U.S. foreign policy are divided many times. Not very often they are together. Sometimes they are divided. So on Ukraine, we are completely united in condemning the Russian attack.